my name's Colm Davis. I'm Principal of Torbank School. Torbank is a school for children with severe learning difficulties. We've got 159 pupils here and over 100 staff. It's a wonderful school. It's very challenging and frustrating, but it's so enjoyable to be here. We've quite a variety of staff on site. We have occupational therapists, physiotherapists, speech and language therapists. We have supervisory staff, peripatetic staff, teachers and classroom assistants. So you've quite a wide variety of staff, and everyone works collaboratively to try and meet the needs of the individual child. I think the first thing that you need to have is a sense of humour. Without doubt, you need to really treat yourself seriously, but you've got to realise that the most important person really is the child, and you've got to be very child-centred, child-focused. You've got to be reflective practitioner. You've got to re-evaluate constantly the teaching and learning strategy you use. Basically the classroom environment you set up, the team of people that you're working with, how you work with them to get the best out of that child. And I think you need to be very flexible and adaptable. And if you don't have the qualities of being flexible and adaptable, if you're very stern and stuck in your ways, I don't think you'll make a very good special educational needs teacher. It's not syllabus driven, and that's another thing to remember. There's no handbook. You create the handbook around each individual child. There's not too many people that seem to apply for a job in special education. Maybe men think there's a lot of caring involved in it, and maybe the motherly instinct comes out really with regard to special educational needs. I think the children respond very well to men, and you can see when I walk into a classroom and I'm working with an individual child that they do get very focused and attentive towards you. If they're aware that you're in the classroom, depends how what their learning difficulty is, and you will find that male role models are very, very positive. You will find a lot of our parents as well split up, one-parent families, and it's nice to get a male within the classroom that they can link into and respond to. And yes, it's very good. I think the number one tip for interview is to bring your personality into the interview. You find, and when I'm sitting on most interview panels, that you have a selection of people. You have parents, you have outsiders representing the Department of Education, those representing the board itself, and then you have governors as well that are here, your teacher, governor, etc. And what you find is the parent will look at when they're interviewing a male or a female, they look and see, would I like that person actually teaching my child? And if they find that the person is very dull and very theoretical and don't sound like they're very empathetic, which you can give off that because you're trying to get all the answers in, and you're not really bringing in yourself, you're not bringing your personality in, you're not bringing a sense of care and empathy. That puts the parent off, and you will find that will also put the other governors off, especially in a special school where they're looking for a balanced approach. They're looking for somebody with a bit of personality, that's flexible, adaptable, that can fit into the system, that can change their whole the teaching strategies and the learning environment they create to meet the needs of an individual child, rather than putting an individual child in the learning environment that they've created, whether it would meet the child's needs or not. So certainly the personality side of it will be a big factor, and hopefully that would be picked out within it's hard to measure it, very hard to measure. That's the other problem. How do you measure personality?
My name's Ben. I teach in Torbank Special School. I've been here for 9 years, and I work as the Autism and Behaviour Support Coordinator. Well, for me, when I wanted to go into teaching, it was about going into special needs teaching. I didn't start off teaching and then decide to go this route. I spent a couple of summers working in summer schemes. I'd also spent the year after I graduated working as a classroom assistant for a few months, and that really helped me make up my mind that this was a job that I felt very strongly about. There's lots and lots of equipment that's been designed over the last few years that helps a lot of teachers and a lot of pupils, but With regard to the young people that we would support in a school like this, having a lot of visual supports is by far the most effective way to help meet their needs, and whether that's changing their environment so it's enriched with more signage, or whether it's very personalised supports. The use of visuals of all sorts is by far the biggest strength. In a job such as this, there are a lot of qualities that you need, but by far for me the biggest one is the ability to form meaningful relationships with the young people that we work with. And in addition to that, then understanding the responsibility and the privilege that you have working in a school like this. As a male, for a lot of our young people, you may well be the only male role model they have throughout those developmental years, and so to understand how much of an impact you potentially have, I think that needs to be at the forefront of everything that you do. And thirdly, definitely a sense of humour is absolutely vital, both in terms of coping with difficult situations and in terms of relating to our young people. As a teacher who's been through a couple of different interviews, but also as a teacher governor who's been on the other side of the table, definitely my number one tip would be to take your time before answering any questions. And it may seem like an eternity to wait for 10 seconds and formulate an answer in your head, but it's definitely worth it. And don't be afraid to ask for the question again.
Hi, my name is Ioannis Skarmoutsas, and I work in Torbank School, which is a school that caters for children with severe learning difficulties. I've been here for about 10 years now. I would describe my teaching style as informal. I like my students to feel comfortable in the class, and I don't want them to feel that they're in a very formal environment that they find it difficult to reply to questions. In this case, I like the fact that the school has a policy in which the students call us by first name. So because they're 16 to 19, I also enjoy the fact that they see me more as a friend and someone to guide them, and not as much as the teacher above them that tells them what to do. So I'm a classroom teacher as well as middle management responsibilities. I teach the sixth form in the sixth form department. I'm the area learning community coordinator for our school. I also have the role of numeracy coordinator and citizenship coordinator, and a variety of other smaller roles. Because you're working with people, so your social skills and your ability to present things in certain ways is very, very important. It's a skill that is very transferable. And you know, all the other skills that have to do with managing situations, finance, they're all in here because you have to manage budgets, you have to manage events and all these things. It's great. I do think though out there people don't think that the skills are transferable, and once you're a teacher you couldn't do anything else. I think that's a huge mistake. I think there's so many skills in the profession that you can transfer into other environments. Number one tip for interview would be prepare as many questions as possible that are relevant to the subject as well as you can, and always go in the interview without the people interviewing knowing that you're not interested in the job. Always go with a mindset that if I don't get it, it's fine.